So in the last lecture, we understood photoelectric effect, and with the help of photoelectric effect, we understood the inapplicability of Maxwell's theory on an atom. What happened in a photoelectric effect? Once we will go through the photoelectric effect. Yeah. Whenever you incident sufficient energy photon on an electron, the electron can be removed, and such an electron is called as photoelectron, and the process is called as photoemission. If this photoemission is made to happen inside a cell, if you are incidenting energy of, if you are incidenting photons of sufficient energy, the electron can be removed. Whenever the electron is removed, it will be attracted towards the positive terminal. As a result, the circuit will be completed. If the circuit is completed, there will be current in the circuit. So we have seen the generation of current with respect to intensity as well as frequency. Maxwell के हिसाब से जो भी energy होगा, that energy must be a function of intensity, but may not be related to frequency or wavelength. So in the experiment, we have taken two knobs, one for changing the intensity of the radiation and the other for changing the frequency of the radiation. So when we applied very high intensity, and if the frequency is kept lower than a certain value, nu naught, irrespective of the intensity, no matter how high the intensity, there is never current. But according to Maxwell, there has to be current because of high intensity. He will expect there should be high energy. दूसरे केस में, when the intensity is kept low and if the frequency is taken greater than a certain amount, greater than or equal to a certain amount, no matter how low the intensity, there is always current. But according to Maxwell, there should not be any current. ये वाला पार्ट हमने देखा. इसी particular case में, if the intensity is increased, whenever there is generation of current, if the intensity is increased, the magnitude of the current got increased. If the intensity is decreased, the magnitude of the current got decreased. If both the things are high, obviously current आना चाहिए, आया भी था. If both the things are low, current नहीं आना चाहिए और नहीं भी आया. ये दोनों clear है. In these 2 points, in these 2 cases, Maxwell एक बोल रहा था अपने theory के हिसाब से, and Einstein को experimental result कुछ और आया था. So Einstein explained these results with the help of a theory called Planck's quantum theory. According to Planck's quantum theory, the energy is emitted or absorbed not in a continuous manner, but in a discontinuous manner in the form of packets. And the energy of each packet is directly proportional to the frequency of the source or the frequency of the radiation, or energy of each packet is E is equals to h nu, where h is called as Planck's constant, whose value is 6.626 into 10 raised to minus 34 joule second. In this particular case, the intensity is related to the number of packets. If number of packets are n, the total energy is n times h nu. So intensity said total energy change हो रहा है, but individual packets energy is not changing. Okay. Whenever you have quantum theory, always there will be some restriction on some quantity. In this particular case, the restriction is on the energy. You cannot have any amount of energy. You can have only some packets of energy. You can have some discrete amounts of total energies. You cannot get any amount of energy. Okay. और हमने ये बात किया, the orbits according to the observations, हमने ये conclude किया, the orbits of the electron around the nucleus are not continuous, they are discontinuous. Had there been continuous orbits, क्या होना चाहिए? The electron must be ejected out. अगर intensity बढ़ाता गया तो electron के ऊपर पैकेट गिरता जाएगा, ये ऑर्बिट नहीं है तो दूसरा ऑर्बिट पे जाएगा, तीसरा ऑर्बिट पे जाएगा, ऐसा एंडिंग में it will be coming out of the system. But the orbits around the nucleus are not continuous. Okay, so agar if the incident energy is 2h nu naught, suppose the threshold energy है 6h nu naught है, threshold energy is 6h nu naught, but you are incidenting only 2 nu naught frequency, then each packet is having an energy of 2h nu naught. So it will be going to an orbit. If there is any orbit existing for this particular energy, तभी वो accept करेगा and it will be going in, jumping into this particular orbit. ये orbit पे जाने के बाद it is not having any packet which is of energy 4h nu naught. So it can never go from this particular orbit to this particular orbit. So क्या होगा, ये orbit पे achieve होने के बाद, in order to attain stability, it will emit back that particular energy. जो 2h nu naught energy लिया उसने, वो वापस छोड़ देगा, छोड़ के वापस इधर आएगा, यहाँ पे फिर से कंज्यूम करेगा, फिर से इधर आएगा. So the electron will be oscillating between these two orbits, but it can never be removed from the system. So in order to remove the electron, you need to incident a minimum of 6h nu naught energy. उससे ज्यादा इंसिडेंट किया तो क्या होगा, the excess amount of energy will be converted into kinetic energy of the emitted electron. Okay, so Einstein's equation for photoelectric effect is E incident minus the E threshold. Threshold energy is the minimum energy required to overcome the nuclear attraction. उससे ज्यादा एनर्जी लिया तो the excess amount of energy will be converted into maximum kinetic energy of the emitted electron. Okay, if the incident energy and threshold energy are same, then the electron will be just coming out without any kinetic energy, even though it is
फिर वो बाहर थोड़ी देर ही आएगा क्या?
नहीं, वैसा नहीं. अभी वो बाहर आने के बाद इधर पॉजिटिव पोटेंशियल है ना, पॉजिटिव चार्ज है ना, it will be attracted towards this. Okay, and the distance between these two is particular फिगर में थोड़ा ज्यादा लग रहा है, बट इन जनरल उतना ज्यादा नहीं रहेगा. द सेल इज ऑफ वेरी वेरी स्मॉल साइज, फोटो सेल. वो बाहर आते ही यहाँ पे चला जाएगा. ओके, एंड देयर इज अ पॉसिबिलिटी वो बाहर, सॉरी
मोनोक्रोमेट आपने लिखा है वो क्या है?
हाँ हाँ, मोनोक्रोमैटिक लाइट मतलब ये जो पर्टिकुलर रेडिएशन डाल रहा हूँ, दैट पर्टिकुलर रेडिएशन इज हैविंग ए यूनिक वेवलेंथ. मोनो मतलब सिंगल, क्रोमा मतलब कलर. Single color light source or single wavelength light source. Each and every color can be associated to unique wavelength. Okay, you need to incident a single type of wavelength, not a mixture of wavelengths. Mixture of wavelengths use किया तो एक wavelength नहीं हो तो दूसरे wavelength के साथ वो photo emission हो सकता है. Okay, so इसलिए we are using only single wavelength in order to observe photo emission or photoelectric effect. Okay, समझ में आया ये वाला part?
Yes sir.
Okay. Okay, okay. So this is, अभी हमने इस एक्सपेरिमेंट से भी हमको एक आइडिया आया है that the orbits around the nucleus are not continuous. We will see one more observation from which we will conclude that the orbits around the nucleus are not continuous. Okay, let us today study spectrum. What is meant by spectrum? Spectrum is nothing but band of electromagnetic radiations. Okay, ध्यान से पढ़ते हैं, इंटरेस्टिंग है, देखो सब लोग. ये जो स्पेक्ट्रम है, it is broadly divided into two different types, emission spectrum and absorption spectrum. ये जो emission spectrum है, इसका further division है into continuous emission spectrum and discontinuous emission spectrum. The discontinuous emission spectrum is also called as line spectrum. ऐसा क्यों बोलते हैं, we will be seeing in next 5 to 10 minutes. Absorption spectrum जो है, it is only of one type, it is discontinuous absorption spectrum. You can never have a continuous absorption spectrum, but you can have a continuous emission spectrum and a continuous discontinuous emission spectrum. पहले इनका मतलब क्या है देखते हैं. Continuous emission spectrum. Suppose if you are taking sunlight, okay, and or if you are taking a white light, if you are passing that particular white light through prism, आप लोग को ये पता होगा that particular white light will be divided into 7 different components. If you observe these 7 different components, ये जो particular red color component है, it will be fading into orange, and the orange will be fading into yellow will be fading into green will be fading into blue fades into indigo fades into violet. Okay, so this is a continuous spectrum. Are you observing any spaces among these particular spectrum?
No.
No, right? So this is the continuous spectrum, and this spectrum is because of emission of light from a source. This particular sun is emitting light. That particular light is caught onto a prism. That particular light is divided into 7 different continuous components. So this particular spectrum is called as continuous emission spectrum. Let us see what is meant by discontinuous emission spectrum. वो क्या होगा एक बार देखते हैं. I am taking a gas. I am heating the gas with the help of some source. I am switching on a battery. the result the gas is heated up. Okay, ये जो particular gas है, any heated object is a source of radiation, हमको वो पता है. So this particular gas will be emitting out radiation now. Okay, this is emitting out radiation. वो जो particular radiation है, that radiation is now caught onto a prism, and that particular prism by splitting that into components, ऐसा कुछ मिला हमें. एक red color line, एक orange color line, एक yellow, green, blue, whatever. Okay, ऐसा कुछ lines मिला. If you can observe, these are discontinuous. ये line है, उसके बाद पूरा gap है, उसके बाद फिर से और एक line है, उसके बाद फिर से gap है, और एक line है, फिर से gap है. Can you see discontinuity in this particular spectrum? This is also band of electromagnetic radiations, but this particular band of radiations are discontinuous. They are not continuous. Between this wavelength and this wavelength, you can have infinite values. इस part में क्या हुआ? You have continuous wavelengths. In this case, you have discontinuous wavelengths. As these wavelengths are appearing in the form of lines, ना? इधर एक point है, इधर एक point है, इधर एक point है. Hence, this spectrum is also called as line spectrum. Sorry. This spectrum is also called as line spectrum. ये वाला part clear है? ये इन सबको analysis करेंगे हम, ऐसा क्यों हो रहा है? But is the spectrum clear? What is happening? I am taking a gas. I am heating that particular gas. Okay. After heating it,
Sir, which gas is
I am switching off the battery. मान लेते हैं. Now that particular gas is an heated object. It is emitting radiation. Okay. That particular radiation is caught on a prism. Whenever it is caught on a prism, it is giving you some spectrum like this, which is the discontinuous spectrum. Okay. And this is also obtained because of emission of radiation by the gas. Hence, it is called as emission spectrum. As there is discontinuity in the spectrum, it is called as discontinuous emission spectrum. Okay, I hope this is clear. Let us see what is meant by discontinuous absorption spectrum. I am taking a light source, and एक जो white light है, I am passing that particular light through a gas. Whenever I am passing that particular light through a gas जो है, it will be absorbing some part of it, and the radiation which is not absorbed, it will be going through or passing through the gas. That passed radiation, that I am catching that onto a prism. Whenever I am catching that onto a prism, I am getting spectrum something like this. इसमें क्या हुआ है? This is not a continuous spectrum. इसमें क्या हुआ देखो, some lines are missing from the otherwise continuous spectrum. इधर जो lines है ना black colored, यहाँ पे वो जो wavelength है that got missed. Okay, वो गायब हो गया है. वो किस वजह से गायब हुआ होगा? These particular lines are absorbed by this particular gas. ये जो wavelengths है, as they are absorbed by this particular gas, they are not visible in this particular section. Whenever I am passing white light, अगर इधर ये gas इधर से हटा दिया, तब क्या होगा? It will be having some spectrum like this. But यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है? Upon passing of that particular white light through the gas, some of the components of the radiation are absorbed by this particular gas. As a result, you are having that discontinuity. ये जो black strips है, यहाँ पे भी you need to have a photon or you need to have a radiation, but that particular radiation is absorbed by this particular gas. Hence, you are unable to see any radiation here. Okay. So in this case, the discontinuity is obtained because of the absorption of this particular photons by the gas. Hence, it is called as discontinuous absorption spectrum. I hope this is clear. ये वाला पार्ट समझ में आ रहे हैं ना आप सब लोग को?
Yes, sir.
समझ में आया? 3 types of spectrum.
Yes,
देखो,
sir.
पहला केस में I am passing white light. If I am passing the white light through the prism, it is divided into 7 different components, and all these components are continuous. Okay, and this is called as continuous emission spectrum. Second case में क्या हुआ? first I am heating a gas with the help of some source. Any heated object is a source of radiation. That particular radiation, I am catching that onto a prism and I am observing. This is an experimental observation. Whenever I am observing such a spectrum, I am getting some lines. यहाँ पे एक, यहाँ पे एक, यहाँ पे एक. There is some discontinuity. As it is seen in the form of lines, it is called as line spectrum. यहाँ पे, in this case, I am passing a white light through the gas. The radiation which is not absorbed by the gas is passing through the gas, and if I am catching that particular radiation on the prism, I am getting something like this. यहाँ पे क्या है? The spectrum is in the form of bands. ये एक band है, एक gap आया, फिर से band है, gap आया, band है, gap आया, so on and so forth. So you can also refer to this spectrum as band spectrum. Okay, you are having some bands. Okay, ठीक है. Now let us try to analyze this. यहाँ पे इसी का discontinuous emission spectrum देखते हैं. If the orbits are continuous, एक बार सभी लोग ध्यान से ऑब्जर्व करना. Suppose पहले इलेक्ट्रॉन यहाँ पे है. Okay, on heating that particular gas, मान लेते हैं electron has drifted to this particular distance. Initially, the electron is present in this particular level. Because of heating of gas, the energy of the electron got increased. If the energy of the electron is increased, उसका stability क्या होगा? Decrease होगा. Stability कम हुआ मतलब उसका attractive force with the nucleus decrease होना चाहिए. Attractive force घटने के लिए you need to increase the distance of the electron from the nucleus. So अभी electron यहाँ से यहाँ पे चला गया. This ये जो electron है, it cannot stay there forever. Because each and everything will try to attain stability. So if there is orbit present at this particular level, it will try to come as near as possible to the nucleus. So whenever it is trying to come, क्या हो सकता है? If it will be releasing energy. If it emits energy continuously, क्या होगा? It will be emitting. यहाँ पे आ जाएगा, ठीक है. बट मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ? इफ इट इज एमिटिंग एनर्जी कंटिन्यूअसली एमिट किया तो क्या होगा? इट हैज टू एमिट ऑल द रेडिएशंस. तब क्या होगा? इट हैज टू बी कंटिन्यूअस स्पेक्ट्रम. ऐसा लाइंस जैसा नहीं आएगा. ये वाला कुछ तो एमिट किया तो उसका नेक्स्ट वाला.
यस सर.
Hello.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Sir.
Sir.
Harshon Kudre.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hello everyone. I got disconnected. Give me 2 minutes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So we are discussing about the nature of the orbits around the nucleus. If the nature of the orbits around the nucleus are continuous, the spectrum which you are obtaining must also be a continuous spectrum. You are having a discontinuity in the spectrum because you are having discontinuous orbits. I hope this particular part is clear. In the same way, यहाँ पे भी देखो, all the photons are not missed. Only some specific photons are missing from the spectrum, or all the wavelengths are not missed. Only some specific wavelengths are missing from the spectrum. ये किस वजह से हो रहा होगा? Again, the reason is same. यहाँ से इलेक्ट्रॉन यहाँ पे जाने के लिए जो भी फोटोन होगा, सपोज मान लेते हैं वो ये वाला फोटोन है. So that particular photon is absorbed and the electron is going here. Suppose दूसरे में इलेक्ट्रॉन यहाँ से यहाँ पे जा रहे, then this particular photon will be absorbed. तीसरे में यहाँ से यहाँ पे जा रहे, then this particular photon will be absorbed. Okay, so inside a gas you won't be having only one atom. There will be different number of atoms. So जिनके ऊपर जो photon गिरेगा, that particular photon will be absorbed according to this particular pattern. Okay. As a result, only some specific photons are missed or are missed in the from the otherwise continuous spectrum. Okay. Agar again, if I'm considering the orbits to be continuous, क्या होना चाहिए? You need to have एक पूरा band जैसा miss होना चाहिए. एक lines जैसा miss नहीं होना चाहिए. You need to have a band of radiations missing from this particular spectrum. So these observations lead to the conclusion that the orbits around the nucleus are discontinuous, or else I can say there are only some certain orbits that are permitted. All orbits doesn't exist, only some certain orbits, certain discontinuous orbits are permitted. Is this clear?
Sir, please explain again.
Okay, is this more or less clear सभी लोग को?
No, sir.
एक्सप्लेन करता हूँ मैं, बट आपके क्लैरिटी के बारे में मुझे बताओ. क्लियर है?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
ओके फिर से एक बार लास्ट सुन लेना. If I am having a white light, if I am passing that through a prism, it is divided into 7 different components, and all these 7 different components are continuous. There is no gaps. Okay, कोई भी photon, these are nothing but photons. You have several photons of different wavelengths. Okay, discontinuous emission spectrum में क्या हुआ? Whenever I am heating a gas, it is emitting radiation. Radiation क्यों emit कर रहे? The electrons inside that particular gas are absorbing energy and they are going to a higher orbit. Every electron will be coming back to its own orbit because it is closer to the nucleus. यहाँ पे lifelong के लिए यहाँ पे नहीं रह जाएगा. It will be coming back to its original orbit because this is having more stability. So whenever it is coming back, if it is coming back in a continuous path, मतलब next orbit पे आके, उसके next orbit पे आके, उसके next orbit पे आके, so on so forth, वैसा आ रहा तो क्या होगा? it must be emitting all the photons of continuous wavelengths present between these two paths. यहाँ से लेके यहाँ तक इनके बीच में जो भी photons रहना पड़ेगा, all the photons must be emitted. If all the photons are emitted, ये जो spectrum है ये भी एक continuous spectrum जैसा ही दिखेगा. But हमको क्या दिख रहे है? You are seeing it as a discontinuous spectrum. इसका मतलब क्या है? The electron is not releasing energy or losing energy in a continuous manner. It is releasing energy or losing energy in discontinuous manner. All these observations एक ही हमको बताता है, और जो मैक्सवेल का जो भी point है, that an electron must lose energy continuously, that is not possible. There are several experiments and several observations to conclude that. This is one of the observations. Okay. If the spectrum is continuous, तब फिर से doubt आएंगे हमको. Like spectrum continuous रह रहे तो then the orbits must be continuous. The orbits are not continuous because the spectrum is not continuous. I hope I'm making sense to everyone.
Yes, sir.
Okay. ठीक है. वैसा ही डिस्कंटिन्यूअस एब्जॉर्प्शन स्पेक्ट्रम. पहले एब्जॉर्प्शन स्पेक्ट्रम कैसे बन रहे हैं वो भी समझना. If I am passing white light which is having different components, white light is a continuous spectrum. Okay, so I am passing that particular light through the gas. अगर इधर गैस नहीं रहता तो ये भी पूरा कंटिन्यूटी आना चाहिए. तो गैस रहने की वजह से क्या हो रहा है? Some of the electrons, some of the atoms present inside the gas are absorbing some of the photons present in the spectrum. By absorbing that particular photon, it is going into some other orbits. Again, if the orbits are continuous, बहुत सारे photons का हर कोई photon which is present in between these two levels or these four levels must be absorbed. तब क्या होना चाहिए? You need to have a band of radiation missing from this particular continuous spectrum. कभी भी band miss हो रहा है क्या? Bands नहीं miss हो रहे. You are missing only one particular photon. Okay, distinct photons miss हो रहे. Okay, from this also I can conclude. यहाँ पे क्या है? पूरा दूर जाने के बाद इलेक्ट्रॉन वापस आ रहे हैं. यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है? इलेक्ट्रॉन दूर जाने के लिए it is absorbing some radiation. Hence it is called as absorption spectrum. In this case, it is emitting radiation. Hence it is called as emission spectrum. I hope this particular point is clear. Okay, ठीक है. दो scientists ने for the discontinuous emission spectrum of hydrogen. Okay, inside this they have taken hydrogen gas. They have heated that with the help of a source. वो जो heated hydrogen gas है, it will be emitting radiation ना. That particular radiation is caught onto a prism, and they got some distinct lines. All these lines will be having some specific wavelengths. कुछ तो values रहेगा ना. वो values को fit करने के लिए they have given some formula. Like if you are having values like 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, 36 ऐसा कुछ values आया तो आप लोग इन values को fit करने के लिए formula क्या देंगे? We will give something like n square, where n is equals to 1, 2, 3, so on. Similarly, they obtained some values of wavelengths. In order to fit all those wavelengths, they have given an empirical formula. The scientists are Balmer and Rydberg. ये जो line spectrum में जो भी photons आया है, उन photons का wavelength calculate करके वो लोग, they have fitted a formula. Okay, that formula is 1 upon lambda equals to r into 1 upon 2 square minus 1 upon n square. When n is a value greater than 2. मतलब n equals to 3, 4, 5, 6, so on so forth. Okay? ये वाला formula, ये formula क्या है समझ में आया ना? This is an experimentally given formula. Experiment किया वो लोग, they have seen the hydrogen spectrum. They calculated the values of these wavelengths. After calculation of values of these wavelengths, they tried to fit a formula, and they arrived at a formula 1 by lambda is equals to r into 1 by 2 square minus 1 by n square, where r is called as Rydberg-Balmer constant, whose value is 1.097 into 10 power 7 meter inverse. Okay? यहाँ तक clear है?
Yes,
इसका इसका significance है, we will be seeing about this particular point, ये observation after seeing Bohr's theory. I hope everyone is with me.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
ये सारा डेटा कलेक्ट करके लाइक फोटो इलेक्ट्रिक इफेक्ट एक्सपेरिमेंट से एंड स्पेक्ट्रम का ऑब्जर्वेशन से एक पॉइंट सब लोग को ये क्लियर हो रहा है, द ऑर्बिट्स अराउंड द न्यूक्लियस आर नॉट कंटिन्यूअस, they are discontinuous. Because of that, I can also say whenever an electron emits energy or loses energy, it will be losing in discontinuous manner. Okay, it won't be losing in a continuous manner. So
Yes,
Bohr
sir.
ने वही point पकड़ के he has given his own theory. Okay, Bohr's theory of atom. One important point is his theory is applicable. इसने कुछ mathematical reasoning भी दिया. He has calculated lot of things. We will be seeing all those calculations. His theory is applicable only to hydrogen-like atoms. That is, the atoms or species which has single one electron. Hydrogen में एक ही electron रहता है ना? So single electron species like helium positive. Helium's atomic number is 2. So you have 2 electrons. Single electron species होने के लिए you need to remove one electron. एक electron निकालते ही you have excess of 1 proton, इसलिए helium positive बोलेंगे. Lithium has 3 electrons, so lithium 2 positive में apply कर सकते हैं ये. Beryllium 3 positive, so on so forth. His particular model can be applied only to those entities which are having single electron. If you are having more than 1 electron, his model cannot be applied. ओके देखते हैं इसका postulates देखते हैं धीरे धीरे से एक one by one. An electron revolves around the nucleus only in certain orbits. Certain orbits मतलब discontinuous orbits हो गया, and he called them as shells. An electron revolves around the nucleus only in certain orbits called shells. दूसरा point है, each orbit has an energy associated with it. Each and every orbit has a definite energy. As long as the electron is in its own orbit, if the electron is in its own orbit, it doesn't radiate any energy. Maxwell ने क्या कहा? It has to radiate energy and it has to fall inside the nucleus. Bohr ने क्या कह दिया? जब तक वो अपना खुद के orbit में रहेगा, it won't be radiating any energy. क्योंकि मैक्सवेल्स थ्योरी ऑलरेडी गलत है करके प्रूव कर लिया हमने. इट इज इनएप्लीकेबल ऑन एन एटम. सो बोर ने क्या कहा? as long as the electron is in its own orbit, it won't be liberating or emitting any energy. Okay, hence the orbits are also called as stationary orbits. The orbits are also called as stationary orbits. He designated them as n equals to 1, 2, 3, 4, so on so forth. N equals to 1 is also called as K, 2 is called as L, 3 is called as M, 4 is called as N, so on so forth. Okay, ठीक है. Now I will ask you one question. Please try to answer that. अभी ये जो electron है, you have nucleus, you have an electron revolving around it. What is the charge of the electron?
Negative.
Negative. What is the charge of the nucleus?
Positive.
Positive. अभी ये जो इलेक्ट्रॉन नेगेटिव है एंड न्यूक्लियस पॉजिटिव है, इन दोनों के बीच में अट्रैक्टिव फोर्सेस है तो द इलेक्ट्रॉन हैज टू attracted towards the nucleus and it has to fall inside the nucleus ना.
Yes sir.
ये क्यों नहीं हो रहा है?
क्योंकि इलेक्ट्रॉन को भी अपना है.
वो रिवॉल्व कर रहा है उसके.
This is the right answer.
Centrifugal force.
एक मिनट. Because it is in it circular motion. It is having a revolutionary motion. अभी ये जो Earth है, Earth is attracted towards the sun because of gravitational force of attraction. Okay. As well as ये जो satellites है, satellites are also attracted towards the Earth. But because of their rotatory motion or revolutionary motion, or because of their
Definite amount of energy.
एक मिनट मैं बता रहा हूँ, मैं क्वेश्चन पूछता हूँ. Because of their circular motion around the particular object, that particular electron won't be falling inside the nucleus. होता क्या है, first of all we need to understand what is the reason for this circular motion, how is it attaining that particular circular motion. उसके बाद what is that particular force it is not allowing, which is not allowing the electron to fall inside the nucleus. इन दोनों के बारे में हमको समझना है. पहला, what is the reason for the revolution of the electron around the nucleus. दूसरा, what is the force that is stopping the electron to fall inside the nucleus. इस ये समझने के लिए you need to know what is the reason for the earth to revolve around the sun. What is the reason?
Centripetal force.
Because of the gravitational force of attraction.
Gravitational.
Newton's gravitational force of attraction, which is given by
Gravity.
Gm1 m2 upon r square.
Gravitation force.
Yeah, gravitational force. अभी ये जो electron है, it is revolving around the nucleus because of the interaction of the charges. Whenever you have charges Q1 and Q2, उन दोनों के बीच में there is an attractive force or a repulsive force generated based on the like charges or unlike charges. If they are unlike charges, you will be having an attractive force. If they are like charges, you will be having a repulsive force. So whenever you have charges separated by distance r, there will be a
Coulomb's law.
there will be a force called Coulomb's force of attraction or repulsion, which is given by K Q1 Q2 upon r square. Just like G m1 m2 upon r square, you have Coulomb's force of interaction, which is given by K Q1 Q2 upon r square. This particular force of attraction is responsible for the revolution of the electron around the nucleus. वही लिखा मैं इधर. An electron revolves around the nucleus due to Coulomb's force of attraction generated as a result of interaction between the charges. The charges are charges of the electron and the charges of nucleus. This force acts inwards and is called as centripetal force. The फिर से पढ़ रहा हूँ ये वाला point, ध्यान से सुनो. An electron revolves around the nucleus due to Coulomb's force of attraction generated as a result of interaction between charges. This force acts inwards and called centripetal force. It is given by the formula F centripetal equals to K Q1 Q2 upon r square, where Q1 is charge of electron, Q2 is charge of nucleus, r is the radius of the orbit, and K is the Coulomb's constant. जैसे gravitational constant रहेगा वैसा ही इस particular case में it is called as Coulomb's constant. Okay? ठीक है. ये जो centripetal force है, if some force is acting inwards, again हमको क्या लगेगा, the electron must fall inside the nucleus. But whenever you have a circular motion, there will be an outward force that is generated, which is called as centrifugal force. आप लोग भी experience किया होगा whenever you are moving on a giant wheel, or if you are revolving in a circular motion. Okay. Always you will be experiencing an outward force, which is called as centrifugal force. So this centrifugal force is exactly balancing the centripetal force. Hence the electron is revolving in its own orbit. Okay. Unless and until you provide some energy, the electron won't be moving from that particular position or from that particular orbit. That centrifugal force is given by the formula mv square upon r, where m is the mass of the electron, v is the velocity of the electron, and r is the radius of the circular orbit. ये जो centrifugal force का formula जो है आप लोग अपने 10th में पढ़ा होगा, नहीं तो you will be seeing the formula in your physics. Okay, for now you need to just know the formula for the centrifugal force is mv square upon r, where v is the velocity of the revolving object, m is the mass of the revolving object, r is the radius of the orbit. Okay. Okay. So the basic important points are an electron. Yeah, tell me.
Sir,
Yeah.
Sir, how is that formula derived?
वही बोल रहा हूँ, ये जो particular formula
How
है,
is that formula derived?
वही समझा रहा हूँ मैं. ये जो particular formula है, जैसे आप लोग अब तक ये पढ़ा होगा, F is equals to ma, force is equals to mass into acceleration. Similarly, ये जो particular formula है, ये भी F is equals to ma है. Angular acceleration जो है, it is v square upon r. you will be seeing this in your physics chapter in circular motion. Don't worry. For now, अभी आप लोग बाद में आप लोग फिजिक्स के सर्कुलर मोशन के चैप्टर में देखेंगे इस वाला फॉर्मूला. For now, you just need to understand. This is a chemistry lecture. You just need to understand the centrifugal force is given the formula mv square upon r. The centripetal force is given by formula k q1 q2 upon r square. इन formulas को use करके we will be deriving some results. वो वाला हमको derive करना आना चाहिए. These are the basic formulas which is established by basic science. Already तब तक है. Centripetal force, centrifugal force, in सबका formulas k q1 q2 upon r square mv square upon r are already well defined formulas.
सर कितने फॉर्मूले है इस लेसन में?
ये कुछ फॉर्मूला है ही नहीं. This is the basic thing. mv square upon r circular motion analysis में basic formula है. वो बाद में जैसे आप लोग का speed is equals to distance traveled upon time taken जितना obvious है, force centrifugal equals to mv square upon r उतना ही obvious लगेगा. Don't worry. Okay, ठीक है. Everyone with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. ठीक है. Okay, okay. Next point.
Sir,
Yeah.
different shell में electrons की velocity different होती है.
Different shells में electrons की velocity different होगा या same रहेगा. We will be deriving that. We will see. Derive करने के बाद
Okay,
आप
sir.
लोग ही judge कर सकते हो. Okay. Next. The energy is absorbed when an electron jumps from lower orbit to a higher orbit, and the energy is emitted when an electron falls from higher orbit to lower orbit. मतलब क्या है? You have a nucleus. Around the nucleus, you have orbits, and you have only certain orbits. Suppose A orbit और A orbit है. Electron अभी यहाँ पे है, and you are incidenting a packet of energy on it. Okay, इसके ऊपर एक पैकेट डाल रहा हूँ. Upon absorbing that particular packet, what will happen? The electron will be migrating to next higher orbit. Okay, अभी electron यहाँ पे आने के बाद it won't be staying there forever. It will be coming back to its original position again by emitting energy. जितना एनर्जी उसने लिया है, जितना पैकेट ऑफ एनर्जी, उतना ही एनर्जी छोड़ देगा. ओके, सो दिस पर्टिकुलर प्रोसेस इज कॉल्ड एज एक्साइटेशन एंड डी एक्साइटेशन. ये जो पर्टिकुलर प्रोसेस है, दिस इज कॉल्ड एज एक्साइटेशन ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन. एक्साइटेशन ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन. दिस पर्टिकुलर प्रोसेस इज कॉल्ड एज डी एक्साइटेशन. ये कब होगा? Whenever you are incidenting any energy on an electron. So ये जो particular electron के लिए, this orbit is not its own orbit. So in order to come back to its own orbit, it will be liberating energy. If and only if the electron is excited, then only it will be liberating energy. If the electron is not excited, it will never liberate energy. Hence the orbit is also called as stationary orbit. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, final point, which is very the most important point of Bohr's theory, and
Sir.
for which, yeah,
Sir, वो de-exciting क्यों होता है? Means उधर ही क्यों नहीं रहता?
because each and everything will try to attain stability. Suppose तुम classroom में बैठे हो, I am moving you from first bench to last bench. Will you stay there forever, or will you try to come back to first bench?
First पे आऊँगा.
फर्स्ट पे आएगा ना. क्यों आ रहे तुम?
Last पे.
Because जितना पास रहोगे उतना ज्यादा स्टेबिलिटी होगा. Always each and everything will try to attain stability. So एक बार ये इलेक्ट्रॉन जबरदस्ती से उधर लेके जाने के बाद it will eventually come back to its original position by liberating energy. That is
Sir,
increase its attractive force with the nucleus. Yeah, tell me.
उस शेल में उसको नहीं स्टेबिलिटी मिलती.
उस शेल में उसको स्टेबिलिटी है, बट उससे ज्यादा स्टेबिलिटी इसमें है ना. तेरे को लास्ट
न्यूक्लियस
बेंच
के
पे बैठने से
फोर्स
भी तुम पढ़ाई कर सकते हो, बट तेरे को अंदर अंदर क्या लगेगा, फर्स्ट बेंच पे जाने के लिए मन करेगा ही ना, वो पल बता रहा हूँ मैं।
ओके
ओके
सर।
ठीक
यस
है।
सर।
अभी 10th अभी आप लोग को बताया होगा 9th के बाद 10th पढ़ो स्टेबिलिटी मिलेगा। इसका मतलब 10th में रुक जाओगे क्या? उसके बाद फिर से कुछ पढ़ाई कर रहे ना, उसके बाद लोग बोलते रहते हैं बार बार ओके स्टेबिलिटी मिलेगा, उसके बाद ये करो स्टेबिलिटी मिलेगा, उसके बाद ये करो स्टेबिलिटी मिलेगा। सो देयर इज नो एंड टू दिस। ओके, बट इलेक्ट्रॉन के लिए
ओके
एंड है,
सर।
यहाँ पे आने के बाद उसको स्टेबिलिटी मिल जाएगा, फर्दर नहीं जाएगा।
ओके सर।
ठीक है।
यस सर।
Last point, the angular momentum of the electron around the nucleus is integral multiple of h upon 2 pi. There are two types of momentum, linear momentum and angular momentum. Linear momentum जो भी रहेगा, that is because of linear motion of the particle. अभी ये जो particular electron है, as it is revolving around the nucleus, it is having a momentum called angular momentum. Linear momentum के लिए आप लोग को फॉर्मूला पढ़ा होगा, which is mass into velocity. Angular momentum के लिए फॉर्मूला है, it is mass into velocity into radius, MVR. Okay. So the angular momentum MVR is equals to, it is integral multiple of h upon 2 pi. मतलब क्या है? It is integer multiple of h upon 2 pi, और MVR is equals to nh upon 2 pi. मतलब क्या है? In first orbit, the angular momentum will be MVR is equals to 1h upon 2 pi. Or else, if I am showing the orbits, a first orbit है, a second orbit है, third orbit है, so on. This is some nth orbit. 1, 2, 3, n. Here the angular momentum will be h upon 2 pi. In this it will be 2h upon 2 pi. Here it will be 3h upon 2 pi. In nth orbit it will be nh upon 2 pi. So if you can see, there is a discontinuity in the angular momentum as well, or the angular momentum is quantized. There is some restriction on the angular momentum. You cannot have any value of angular momentum. Only those values are permitted which is an integral multiple of h upon 2 pi, either 1h upon 2 pi, 2h upon 2 pi, 3h upon 2 pi, and h upon 2 pi. Okay. So बोर ने क्वांटम थ्योरी का एप्लीकेशन इस पर्टिकुलर पॉइंट में किया है. All angular momentums are not possible. Only those angular momentums are possible which is an integral multiple of h upon 2 pi. H is nothing but Planck's constant there. Interestingly, बोर ने इस पर्टिकुलर इसने जो भी कहा MVR is equals to NH upon 2 pi, उसके लिए कुछ प्रूफ नहीं दिया उसने. ये नहीं बताया उसने ये कहाँ से कैलकुलेट किया MVR is equals to NH upon 2 pi. बाद में जाके इसी चैप्टर में हम ये रियलाइज करेंगे ये जो पर्टिकुलर assumption है और ये जो पर्टिकुलर पॉइंट उसने जो भी कहा, this is absolutely correct. Okay, without any proper explanation, without any derivation or without any experiment, Bohr arrived at this particular formula MVR equals to NH upon 2 pi. इस पर्टिकुलर फॉर्मूला के लिए उसने कुछ जस्टिफिकेशन नहीं दिया. लेटर another scientist based on some other theory he derived it. वो बाद में हम पढ़ेंगे. ओके.
Yes.
यस सर.
बट देखो बोर कितना
Yes, sir.
कितना awesome है और कितना स्टड है.
Sure.
ओके, शार्प है. ठीक है.
पर सर पर कैसे बताया उसने? कुछ डेरिवेशन नहीं निकाली डायरेक्ट?
कोई कुछ बनाओ.
और मुझे भी पूछना था उसको, बट पता नहीं वो अभी है नहीं. So हम इतना ही मानेंगे. Without any explanation he has given this particular point MVR equals to NH upon 2 pi. ठीक है. So are the postulates, all the postulates clear? Bohr's theory क्या है? That first फिर से एक बार, electrons are revolving around the nucleus in some specific orbits or certain orbits. Okay, as long as the electron is in its own orbit, it won't be losing any energy. Hence, those orbits are also called as stationary orbits. The reason for the revolution of the electron around the nucleus is because of the Coulomb's force of attraction, which is generated because of the interaction among the charges. That particular force is called as centripetal force, which is given by K Q1 Q2 upon R square. If there is an inward force and if there is a circular motion happening, there will be generation of outward force, which is called as centrifugal force. That centripetal force being exactly equal to the centrifugal force, the electron will be present in its own orbit. Okay, ठीक है, बाद में हम ये दोनों को इक्वेट करेंगे. Centrifugal force is given by formula mv square upon r. और एक पॉइंट क्या है, whenever the electron is absorbing energy in the form of packets, it will be shifting into higher orbit. It won't be staying there forever. It will be releasing energy, and it will be releasing energy in the form of packet only. जो packet उसने absorb किया, उसी packet को छोड़ देगा. The process of going to higher orbit is called as excitation of electron. The process of coming back to lower orbits is called as de-excitation of electron. So whenever you are heating any gas, यही हो रहा है in a way. वो जो electron है वो excite होता जा रहा है. Whenever it is releasing radiation, वो de-excitation होने की वजह से वो radiation निकल के आ रहा है बाहर. ठीक है. Last point, the angular momentum of an electron around the nucleus is integral multiple of h upon 2 pi. Or else I can say the angular momentum is quantized. There is some restriction on the angular momentum. You cannot have any value of it. There is possibility of only certain values, which are h upon 2 pi, 2h upon 2 pi, 3h upon 2 pi, so on and so forth. I hope यहाँ तक clear है सब लोग को?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. Let us look into the mathematical modeling of it. Matlab, he has derived some things. Mathematical modeling of force theory. Give me 2 minutes. Yeah. We know that centripetal force is equal to the centrifugal force.
Centrifugal.
Hence the electron is staying in its own orbit. Centripetal force is given by formula K
Q1 Q2 upon R square.
Q2 upon R square. This must be equal to
MVR.
M square by R.
upon R. Okay. I am applying mod to this. ये जो centripetal force है, उसका force जो है वो negative रहेगा and centrifugal force वो positive रहेगा. It is just showing the direction. Okay. Because charge of electron is negative, right? अभी Q1 क्या है? Q1 is charge of electron. So I am taking that as E. If atomic number is Z, what will be Q2? Q2 is charge of the nucleus. What will be the charge of the nucleus? Atomic number Z है तो what are the number of protons inside it?
Z.
Z.
The charge of each proton is nothing but is exactly equal to the charge of the electron, na? So can I
Z
say
into E.
Z times E?
Yes, sir.
Okay, as charge of proton
Nucleus.
equals to charge of electron.
Electrons.
Okay, so I am substituting those things. So K E into Z E upon R square equals to mv square upon R. This is equation 1. दूसरा इक्वेशन क्या है हमारे पास, MVR is equals to NH
NH upon 2 pi.
2 pi. This is equation 2. Let us try to see what are the unknowns. ये जो K है एक Coulomb's constant है, इसका वैल्यू मैं अभी देता हूँ आप लोग को. Coulomb's constant is a known quantity. ये जो
Yes, sir.
K है, this is charge of electron, which is 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19. So it is also a known quantity. ये जो Z है, it is the atomic number. So if you are
Known.
seeing for helium positive, it will be 2. If you are seeing for beryllium 2 positive, it will be 3. So this Z
Yes,
is
sir.
also a known quantity. ये जो M है, this is mass of electron, which is 9.1 into 10 raised to minus 31 kgs, which is
Yes,
also a known
sir.
quantity. ये जो V
Yes, sir.
है, this is velocity of electron. ये जो R है, it is radius of the electron. Okay, radius of the orbit. Both of these things are unknowns. Okay. Similarly, in this equation, mass is a known, velocity unknown, R is unknown, N is orbit number. अगर orbit 1 है तो N 1 हो जाएगा, orbit 2 है तो N 2 हो जाएगा, orbit 3 है तो N 3 हो जाएगा. So this is also a known quantity. H जो है Planck's constant, which is also
Planck's.
a quantity. 2 pi is also a constant. So इस equation में भी unknown क्या है? R.
VR.
Equation you have V and R. So you have two unknowns. If you have two unknowns, you need to have two equations to solve for them. दो equations है ना? All of you take a pen and paper. Please solve for the values of V and R. Get me the value of V in terms of all other variables, sorry, all other constants, and the value of R in terms of all other constants. V is equals to exclusively क्या होगा in terms of K, E, Z, M, N, H, सब कुछ. You should not get me the answer V in terms of R, क्योंकि दो variables हो जाएगा ना. V क्या होगा, R क्या होगा. Solve this. Take 5 minutes of your time. Please solve it. मैं भी solve करता हूँ बाद में.
सर क्या?
Solve for V and R. दो इक्वेशन दिया आप लोग को, दोनों इक्वेशंस को सॉल्व करना है. ओके सबने सॉल्व किया होगा. व्हाट इज द वैल्यू ऑफ r? आया क्या कुछ या v? देखो फ्रॉम इक्वेशन 1 सॉल्व कर रहे हैं क्या या वेट करूं मैं?
Sir, chat.
ओके चैट पे तो बहुत ही कॉम्प्लेक्स इक्वेशन है. ओ माय गॉड, वेरी गुड. I am asking you r only in terms of constants, not in terms of another variable v. K z e square by 2 pi. Okay. Okay, good. देखो इक्वेशन 1 में ये r इधर और ये वाला r और ये 2 कैंसिल होते, एक r बचा ना. So from 1 can I say r is equals to k z e into e will be e square na. You can write it as e square. K z e square upon mv square. K z e square upon mv square. Substitute this in equation 2. इसको a मानते हैं. Substitute a in equation 2. तब क्या होगा? m into v into r क्या है? K z e square upon
mv square
is equals to nh upon 2 pi. m और m कैंसिल हुआ, v और एक v कैंसिल हुआ, तो v क्या हो गया अब? v is equals to 2 pi k z e square upon
nh.
this will be the equation for v. 2 pi k z e square upon nh. ओके ठीक है. एक बार r क्या होता है देखते हैं. substitute in again substitute v in equation 2. तब क्या होगा? m into v is 2 pi k z e square upon nh into r equals to nh upon 2 pi.
2 pi.
तो r क्या हो जाएगा? r equals to nh upon 2 pi into ये वाला nh हुआ upon m into 2 pi k z e square.
Yes, sir.
एक बार मल्टीप्लाई करते हैं. So r will be equals to nh into nh. It will be n square h square. R will be equal to n square h square upon 2 into 2 4 pi into pi square 4 pi square z m e square k. So ये दोनों इक्वेशंस आना चाहिए आप लोग को. n square h square upon 4 pi square z m e square k and v is equals to 2 pi k z e square upon nh. Again I am writing down those two expressions. एक बार v कितना आया था हमें? v is equals to 2 pi k z e square 2 pi k z e square upon nh. एक बार देखो सभी लोग. If the atom change, if the element change, z will be changing. If the orbit change, the value of n will be changing. The values which doesn't change forever are 2 pi
2
k
pi h
square
and k.
upon h. So I can write this as this times z upon n. Okay. तो ये पूरा का पूरा एक कांस्टेंट होगा.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so can I write
Yes, sir.
2.18.
equal to z upon n?
Yes, sir.
वो जो कांस्टेंट है, कांस्टेंट निकाल दिया तो you can attach a proportionality symbol. V is proportional to z upon n. इसका मतलब क्या होगा? V1 upon V2 will be equal to Z1 upon N1 divided by Z2 upon N2. Proportionality का यूज ऐसा ही करते हो आप लोग. और V1 upon
Yes,
V2
sir.
equals to Z1 upon N1 into N2 upon Z2. I hope ये वाला पार्ट जो भी है समझ में आया. V is proportional to Z upon N.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Similarly, R का वैल्यू क्या आया था हमें? R is equals to n square h square upon 4 pi square z m e square k. Again, h square जो है वो हमेशा कांस्टेंट रहेगा. 4 pi square m e square k. ये सब हमेशा कांस्टेंट्स ही है. If I am
N square by z.
n will be changing. If I am changing the element, z will be changing. So again, I can write this as R is proportional to n square upon z. बोर्ड थ्योरी में आप लोग को प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग के लिए इतना ही याद रखना है. बाकी सब याद रखने की कुछ जरूरत नहीं. You need to know the proportionality of velocity. ये I can also write this as Vn. Vn indicates velocity in nth orbit. So if you can observe, Vn is a function of orbit number. So the velocity won't be a constant in different orbits. In different orbits, its value will be different. Similarly, Rn is proportional to n square upon z, or R1 upon R2 is equals to n1 square upon z1 into z2 upon n2 square. These are the things which I can write for them. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I hope सब लोग को ये समझ में आया derivation.
Yes, sir.
एक बार सभी लोग फिर से देखते हैं. We are interested in solving the value of V in terms of constants, the value of R in terms of constants. V आया हमको 2 pi k z e square upon nh. इसमें 2 pi k e square और h हमेशा constants ही है. So उनको अलग से लिखा तो I can write V is proportional to z upon n. Or else I can analyze this as the value of n increases, what will happen to the velocity? It will decrease. As the electron goes away and away from the nucleus, the velocity will be decreasing. Similarly, R क्या है? R is proportional to n square upon z, और R का value आया हमें n square h square upon 4 pi square z m e square k. h square 4 pi square m e square k सब constants है. N square upon z, they can be variables for different atoms and different orbits. So I have written this as something into n square upon z. So this is always a constant. So I can write R is proportional to n square upon z, or R1 by R2 is n1 square upon z1 into z2 upon n2 square. We will be seeing how to use these particular formulas to solve questions, and questions किसके ऊपर based रहेगा देखते हैं. Next lecture में हमको ये पढ़ना है what will be the energy of the electron in an orbit. अब तक हमने radius और velocity derive किया. We need to see what will be the energy of the electron in an orbit. Okay. एक बार वो पढ़ने के बाद we will be seeing what can I do in order to excite an electron from one orbit to another orbit. What are the things that are associated with that particular changes. ये सब देखेंगे. I hope today's lecture is clear to everyone.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Form theory is very important. You can expect a question in JEE mains as well as NEET. Okay, and this is the fundamental point is it is applicable to only single electron species. The questions based on Bohr's theory will be very easy. देखेंगे next 2 lectures में उसी के बारे में discuss करेंगे, questions करते हैं. Very easy. Just you need to understand electron energy absorb किया तो ऊपर jump करेगा. Whenever it is coming back, it will be releasing energy. And all these things will be happening in the form of photons, packets of energies. I hope today's lecture is clear to everyone. I will be sharing these notes. Please go through the lecture. If you are having any doubts, please contact me. Okay. Thank you.